Hello everyone. So this is the first video I'm making, and I'm going to be starting a kind of a tech help series. And excuse the background notepad over here. I need to work on it. So like I said, first video I will make a new background. But this video I'm going to show you my PC, what I run, and I'm going to give you tips on picking a processor, Intel or NVIDIA, dual core or quad core, high end or low end, what you need for what you're going to do. So first off, let's look at my computer real fast. Let's pull CPU-Z. So there's my processor, the AMD 9850. It is a quad core processor running at 2.5 gigahertz respectively. For the main board I use a BioStar 790GX chipset. In memory I have 4 gigs of DDR2 800. Alrighty. Next is the graphics card running a 4870, even though it doesn't say there, overclocked to 800 core 1000 memory. There's my temperature, activity. The fan speed, is modified to run at 60% at all times, because ATI cards get really hot if you don't do that trick. I mean, at idle before I was hitting like 70, 80 Celsius. So, alright, so let's get down to it. Picking a processor. What do you need? Are you looking for something low end, or are you looking for something high end? So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 processors to kind of help you pick what you need. So we're gonna look at AMD, Intel, low end dual core, AMD, Intel, high end dual core, low end quad, high end quad. So these are what I have found on Newegg. They are the best for the price for each area. AMD's low-end dual core, 2.6 gigahertz, $60. And as proof, AMD Athlon 64X2, 5,000 plus, 2.6 gigahertz, $59.99 in stock. Newegg.com. Now, if you want a little bit more tech specs, there is your L2 catch, your hyper transport. It is a 65 nanometer chip. Comes with heatsink, 3-year warranty, 65 watt, all that stuff. Now, if we want to compare it to Intel's low-end chip, 2.53 gigahertz, which is a slower clock, $119. Let's go over here. We are looking at a 1066 megahertz frontside bus, 3 megabyte of L2 catch, which is very low considering Intel is renowned for their L2 catch. This is a 45 nanometer chip, and it will use 65 watt, same as the AMD. So people say 45 nanometer uses less heat, is cooler than a 65 nanometer, and you're right. But if you buy a 120 millimeter CPU cooler, it doesn't matter if it's 65 or 45, it's going to be cold. If you buy any aftermarket CPU block, it will run cold, no matter what the nanometer process is. So, again, we're looking at 60 versus 119. AMD has the faster clock. Next down the line here, and again, I'm not biased versus Intel or NVIDIA. This is only to help you decide. Only to help. This is to help what you think you need. So next up, we have AMD's high-end dual core and Intel's high-end dual core. AMD again faster and cheaper in the clocks. So let's look at the AMD processor, the AMD Athlon X2 6400 plus 3.2 gigahertz, $119. Specs for this, there's your L1, L2 catch. It is a 90 nanometer process. But like I said before, if you buy a CPU cooler aftermarket, it will keep the processor cold. Heat is not an issue. This is a 125 watt processor. Alright, let's look at a Intel, the Core 2 Duo E8500, 3.16 gigahertz, $189. Look at specs. 6 megs L2 cache, so double what your low-end Intel would be. There's your core speed. This is a 45 nanometer process, 65 watt, so it does use a lot less power than the AMD processor, but it is more expensive and it has a slower clock. So let's get into dual core to quad core. Is quad core worth it versus dual core? If you're going to buy a, well, what I suggest is you're going to future-proof the system, go quad. If you're looking for something to last a year, year and a half, go dual. But if you do go dual, get something high-end. I mean, unless you can't afford it, or you're building a media box, or you running a single core and quad core just seems like, you know, what you think you need, then go dual. Go low-end dual. But I would recommend a high-end dual core or a mid to high-end quad core for gaming. So let's look at AMD's low-end quad. The 9600, it is 2.3 gigahertz, $119. You see how these prices seem to stay the same? So we're looking at 3600 megahertz hyper transport. There's your L1 to L3 caches. This is a 65 nanometer process. It uses 95 watt of power. So let's look at Intel. The Intel Core 2 Quad 6600, $189. 2.4 gigahertz, 1066 megahertz frontside bus. There's your L1 L2 cache. This is a 65 nanometer process, and it will use, well, it does not say, but if I had to pick, I'd say anywhere from 60 to 100 watts of usage for this processor. It does not tell us though. Alright, so we're looking here at, look at the prices. 119, 119, 119, 189. These prices seem to try, they like to stay the same. You're going to pay the same for a high-end dual core from Intel. It's the same price as a low-end quad core. And AMD's high-end dual and low-end quad are the same price. The same price. So think of it like this. Do you want an Intel low-end dual core, or do you want a AMD low-end quad core because it's the same price, or an AMD high-end dual core? So now let's look at the high ends. Here's AMD's, the 9950 Black Edition. What Black Edition means is it is an unlocked processor, very easy to overclock. 2.6 gigahertz, $173. Let's look at tech here. Here's your L1, L3 caches, 4000 megahertz hyper transport, very fast. 65 nanometer, 140 watt. Versus Intel, 2.83 gigahertz, faster, but look at the price, $319. That's crazy. 12 megabyte L2 cache, 45 nanometer process, 95 watt of thermal power usage. 1333 megahertz frontside bus. So to recap, these are the prices and the speeds. For each section, I would recommend for low-end dual core, AMD. For high-end dual core, it's pretty well matched. I would personally go AMD because of speed and price ratio. For low-end quad, AMD is cheaper, but Intel is faster. So that, again, that's something you're going to have to decide for yourself, but I would personally go with AMD. And again, with the high end, I'd probably go AMD. It's a little bit slower, but you're saving so much money. You could buy a graphics card and an AMD quad core, and it would probably run you the same amount as buying one Intel high-end dual core. But it's totally your decision. Intel fanboys out there will probably disagree with me totally and say the L2 catch makes it all the difference in the 45 nanometer, but that's just my opinion. Alright, well, I guess that's it. I will post another video soon on graphic cards. NVIDIA versus ATI. What's the better deals? 4000 series versus the NVIDIA 200 series. NVIDIA's new 260 core 216 line versus ATI's 4870 1 gig line. Getting some tough competition from them guys. Alright, well, thanks for watching.